The Safety Net with Kendell Lenice. This is a talk show where you can feel safe to share your truth. After all, we've all been through something. We all have a story to tell. Our testimonies are never for us. They're to help and inspire others to think bigger, do better, to become wiser. Through our stories and testimonies, we can help each other heal, grow, and learn from our past mistakes in order to have a brighter and better future. It's not what you've been through, it's what you've grown through. This is the Safety Net. I got you. Our live show starts now. Hi, and welcome to the Safety Net with Kendell Lenice. On this episode, we will be talking about unemployment. Not just unemployment for men and women, but in particularly men. What it does to the psyche, what it does to the family when the head of the household is unemployed. A lot of people look at unemployment as a death wish or death sentence. They don't look at it as a blessing in disguise. So on this episode, we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. Stay tuned. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Safety Net. I'm sitting here with William Swann, and we're going to get all in his business, and his business is going to be your business because, as everyone does on this show, they share their truths. So that's what he's going to do today. As I stated earlier, we're going to be talking about unemployment and what it does to a family. Not only to a family, but what it does to the head of the household. And you've experienced unemployment recently. First, let me just say, first and foremost, congratulations on your new job.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's wonderful. So with this show, it's all about really sharing your truth and being comfortable, because I truly believe that everything that we go through is really not for us. It's for us to share with others and to help everyone else who's experienced that over that hurdle. Because everyone always thinks their feelings are just their own,
Yes.
and they don't realize that everyone else has those same experiences. But a lot of people are tight-lipped.
Yes.
So, but you're not.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest devil's tricks.
Mm-hmm.
Is to make people think that they are alone.
Mm-hmm.
They're the only ones that's going through something.
Mm-hmm.
We all go through the same things.
Yeah. So 3 years. Let me get 6 months and 9 days.
9 days.
How many hours?
Oh, it's funny. I have no idea. It felt like a trillion. Like, I don't know. But
you were unemployed for that long,
yes,
and that's a pretty long time.
It is, especially when you So I had a job. I used to work for Nestle.
Mm-hmm.
I was a supervisor. I used to make Haagen-Dazs ice cream.
Okay.
Yeah, and but 3 years, 6 months, 9 days. I was there for 9 years. Got fired. Didn't do anything wrong. Was just the lowest man on the totem pole, and got fired. So
they had cuts.
Yeah.
And a lot of large companies are now cutting back on their staff.
Well, it really wasn't a cut. So what happened was back. I don't know if you remember the blizzard. 2016, we had this big blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens with ice cream? The mix has 72 hours for you to run it. If you don't run it, it's trash. So what happened was
when they're first making it.
Yes, when they first.
Okay.
So it's a 72-hour period in between where you make the ice cream when you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happened was that blizzard happened. They made too much mix, and it got thrown away.
Mm-hmm.
I was the lowest man on the totem pole. It ended up $7 a gallon for mix, and if you throw away 20 gallons, that's probably over $100,000.
So they pretty much blame you.
Yes.
So it was your whole crew, and that accident or mishap happened, and they blame you. So
yes.
Were you the only one that was let go?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So you really think it's because you were the last one hired?
Yeah. No, the lowest man on the totem pole. So what I mean by that is the manager, the plant manager's not going to.
Of course.
Yeah. So
of course.
And then the floor manager's not going to.
Okay.
So it was me.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't anybody else on your level per se.
No.
So you were.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was that like when they came to you? Did you even know why?
So they said it was a paperwork issue, but they never showed me the paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
Like they waited till I was walking out the door.
Mm-hmm.
End of the day, I thought it was just over and done with.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I walked out, they said, "Yeah, we decided to let you go."
And what people don't realize, we're in the state of Maryland, and the state of Maryland, it's an at-will state.
Yep.
So they can fire you without telling you why. They can just say, right, as long as it's not discrimination or as long as they're not breaking the law. Because to fire somebody for no reason is not breaking the law in Maryland.
Yeah.
So
So now spiritually, what happened was
Mm-hmm.
on that Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
I looked around and I said, I can't grow in here, God, get me out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And on Friday I got fired. So I was like, wait a minute. But of course I'm like,
Right.
wait,
Right.
not this way. Like,
Right.
let me find a job, you know. But yeah,
Right.
yeah, so that's really what happened. So spiritually, that's what really happened.
Yeah, but sometimes we're bigger than where we are.
Yeah.
We're there for a mission or an assignment to move someone, to inspire someone, to help someone, to show people the God in us. And then once our assignment is over, then God will move us. And then sometimes, a lot of times, it's not when we want to move.
It's very uncomfortable.
You know.
Especially for a man. So I was making all right money. I was making like $60,000 a year, and for that to be just taken away, and for me to come home and tell my wife, hey, now I'm fired, and we exhausted everything, like my pension, my 401k, everything. We exhausted all that, and but I made it through.
Yeah. So what is that like? What goes through your head? Because as I was talking about, you're a provider. You know, you're a husband. You have 3 children.
3, yep.
Right? And so what is that like? What's going through your head at the time that you're let go on that car ride home to tell your wife?
So initially, it wasn't too bad because I still had money coming in. I still had my 401k. I could lean on that. I still had my pension. I could lean on that.
Okay.
And once money started drying up, that's when it got harder and harder. But the thing that helped, it helped me become a better person, though.
Okay.
Because I had totally forgot how to be a dad.
What you mean?
So I used to work 12-hour shifts, and I would rush my children to sleep because I had to be up at 12 a.m. to get to work by 2 p.m. So, and I work 12-hour shifts. So I'm so I'm rushing my children to sleep. I'm forgetting how to play with them. Like I was there.
Yeah.
I'm not checking homework. I'm not doing the dad stuff.
Yeah.
And so I did not realize that until I did not have to go to work and I could actually slow down and do stuff with my children.
So you were trying to hurry up and push it along because you had to go to sleep, you had to eat, you had to prepare for the next day.
Yes.
So your wife was like handling the homework, checking that and all of that, and you were going to sleep to go to work.
Yep.
To go to sleep to go back to work.
Yep. I remember one time, and this is kind of funny. So it was around spring, and my daughter was having a tea party with her dogs. And it was like 7 o'clock or something like that. And I said, baby girl, you gotta go to bed. And she bust out crying. She said, Daddy, you're ruining my tea party with my friends. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I gotta go to work. I'm so sorry. So I'm like, wow, man. So, yeah, that was really, really funny. Like, she was really mad at me.
Yeah, because you told her to go to bed. The party wasn't over.
It was like 6 of them. And all of them had, the teacup and the salsa and all. I was like, man. She's like, you're ruining my tea party. And I was like, oh, Lord. Yeah,
So when you realized that, you knew that. First, I want to go back a little bit. You said after your pension ran out, after your the 401k ran out. Yeah. How long did it take for it to hit you? Like, whoa, there's no other income coming in.
Pretty much probably about 3 months.
Okay, then so 3 months you were like, it's all good.
Yeah. I thought I was going to get a job really quick.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen really quick.
Yeah.
Like 3 years, 6 months, 9 days. Like that's how long it took me to get.
That's a
job.
book title right there.
Yeah. My brother said I should get a tattoo, but
years.
I don't have any tattoos.
Yeah.
But he said you should get a tattoo. Faithful 3 years, 6 months, 369, something like that.
Yeah, 369.
Yeah. But God has provided so much. Like I've had people pay my rent. I've had people pay insurance. Like I've never. I've been close. We were close to being evicted.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen.
That's where. So were they friends or family members? Church.
Church. Just people that would pop up, little angels. Like
I believe in angels.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, people that just come up out of nowhere and say, "Here's this $100." They don't know you. You don't know them. Yeah. Stuff like
wow.
That.
So not even the people that you knew and the people that you told.
No.
It's somebody that God sent.
So a lot of people didn't know. I didn't tell my family.
That's what I was going to ask
you. Until my family didn't know until last year.
Really?
They didn't know. They did not know.
So
that it built it this time has built me and my wife's relationship
I
to
believe
where we
that.
are like this. So I lean on her, she leans on me.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell everyone everything.
That's right. You don't. You don't.
So yeah, a lot of people did not know.
So how did they find out?
I was going through the background process for police academy because that was something I was going to do because I'm like, all right, I filled out 300 applications and no one's calling me back, or the people who call me back, they say I had the job and then they pull the job right away from me. So I said, you know what, let me just go do something that I don't want to do. I don't care as long as I can provide. And the background check detectives, that's how they found out.
So because they'll call and check. I was on somebody's list before where they called me as a reference.
Yeah.
So and then they said, and so then they call you and say, hey, Will, you looking for a job? What happened? You leaving your job?
Yeah, and I still didn't tell them the whole situation.
Yeah.
I just pretty much say, I'm not working, but God will provide, because when you have family members who love you, they worry.
Yeah.
And I don't want to put that
them
worry
to worry
on them.
No, I got
Especially if I'm not.
Yeah, if you're not worried, because you know it's going to be taken care of.
Yep.
No matter what it is, you know that God got it.
Yes.
So at one time, did your faith waver a little bit? Were you unsure, uncertain through that? Because sometimes, even as believers, you think that God left. He might be around the corner, but you might think that he left because your situation is not changing.
Yeah. So what happened with me was I started to write down little things that were happening. Like, okay, God provided for this. God provided for that. And it helped build me up to the big things like, okay, God got to pay your rent. So if God paid your, he gave you gas, and the next time he just gave you $100 out of nowhere, he's going to pay this rent. And once he paid the rent that one time, I was like,
So what? Did somebody give you money to pay it, or did somebody pay it? How did that happen?
What happened was I'm in a Bible it's a Bible study ministry at my church. It's called Man Ups. It's like men in a man cave, and it's the craziest thing you would ever see is like 20 of us on a Monday just giving testimonies and just venting and how was your day. It's not your typical Bible study.
I love that.
So different.
And it's just for men?
Yeah, just that. But they have new songs. They also have it for women too. But it's so authentic, and I've never seen anything like this before. So these guys, we are so close, we call each other brothers. And once you get past that, they really love you, they really care about your family, you can vent about anything. So I just said, man, I gotta tell y'all, I don't know where I'm gonna get this rent money from. I have no idea. And they was like, man, we got you. And so they just started. I thought it was going to be.
That's going to make me cry.
Yeah,
I love that with men. Wow.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be, okay, they're going to give you $200 or something like that. And at the end of the day, they ended up giving me almost $1,350.
Wow, that day?
That day. Just from God just caring about
me.
And they didn't ask for it back because they believe in they know great things are coming.
Absolutely.
And they care about me.
Yeah.
And I have two brothers who passed away. I'm the middle child. I'm the middle boy, and it's two under me. So I always wanted big brothers. Both of my brothers were locked up, and now they're both gone.
Wow.
And so I always have been the big brother. So now I have 30 of them.
Wow.
That I can just call about anything.
That really, that's really touching me, because a lot of times, especially black men, you're raised to be strong, not to cry, not to be vulnerable, not to share your business, especially in the black community. Don't share that. Right, exactly. And just the fear of judgment, the fear of being looked at differently. So I really,
that class has changed my life. It's really changed my life, changed my perspective, like you just said. We're taught not to cry and things like that, and you're not being tough, and it's a lie. To be able to talk about your problems is strength.
Yes. Yep.
Because at the end of the day, if you don't talk about your problems, they're going to come out.
They're going to eat you up.
They're going to eat you up, and it's going to blow up the wrong way. You're going to blow up on someone.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I could see the joy in your face. Seriously, when you're talking about those brothers, and that really, really touches my heart, because so many black men are just out here struggling in
Mhm.
pain,
Mhm.
you know, dealing with just a whole bucket of problems
Mhm.
and issues, and sometimes they feel like as a man they don't have anywhere to turn.
Mhm.
And I had this conversation yesterday actually with someone, and how your church family can really make a difference in your life, like if you really have that family. And
Yes.
it sounds like they're not just, you know, you go there Sunday, you go there Tuesday or
Yes.
Thursday, and
Yes.
then you go home. Like
Yes.
you guys have really forged
We have
a brotherhood.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. We call the it's called AMG, Authentic Men of God. But it's not your typical.
I might have to get you to find a little young man for my daughter.
Yeah. So the age range in the classes, like we have guys that are like 24 all the way up to 70 years old.
Wow.
Who are just being real.
Wow.
I mean, who better to talk to than a person who has already been through it?
That's right.
You know,
That's
a guy
right.
if you're going into your 50s, then why not talk to someone who's 60?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's the
so
thing.
true.
That's the
so
problem
true.
with Baltimore City, I think, right now, is that Baltimore City doesn't have any OGs
Yeah.
to teach the
Wow.
kids what's right and wrong.
Wow.
They have no idea. In Baltimore City, if you're 21 year old, that's an OG.
Why is it because of the crime rate in just making it to 21? Because a lot of black men don't think that they'll even make it to 21.
I didn't think I would make it.
Why?
So
because it's a statistic, or some of the things you were doing,
it's just I think it's
or the environment, community.
It's the environment.
Mm-hmm.
It's the environment. Once you see that you know, young people die,
mm-hmm.
And it's normal, and you say, well, what's the difference between me and that person? I was just lucky.
And that's why they're taking lives of others, because they're not really valuing their lives.
They don't know their worth.
Right.
They don't know their worth. They don't. And
they're desensitized too.
Yeah. So it's nothing for them to lose someone.
Yeah.
Like, well, and if I lost someone, then you could lose someone too. Like, I don't care. I take them away from you.
Right.
And that's just this mentality. The respect is gone in Baltimore.
Yeah.
It's not around anymore. And even when I was young, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But it all comes back to drugs and being dumped into the community, and the black family being separated, and it's not mom and dad is over here.
Yeah.
Mom might be on drugs.
Yeah.
Mom's at work,
or a grandparent is raising, or siblings are raising children.
And generation.
And I think that that's so interesting, especially Baltimore and the news that Baltimore got from your president. I don't know, that's not my president, but this is not a political show.
He's crazy.
But just saying what he said about Baltimore. But that could be said for many of the urban communities all over this country. And just for the reason you said, just that breakdown of family and really not feeling worthy, or that they hold value. What would you tell a young man that feels like, you know what, everybody dies, I'm going to die too, it's just a part of life, and they really don't know their worth? What would you tell that young brother? And talk to him.
What would I say to him? I would say that just because it's drug needles and you don't see life around you doesn't mean that life is for you. I would say that when God molded you in your mother's womb, He had great things for you. And the things are so great that if He showed them to you, you would run away from it. You know what I'm saying? Stop what is it? Like know your worth. Stop doing things that are beneath you. They need to know what's beneath them.
Yeah.
They don't know what's beneath them.
Yeah.
But everything is beneath you right now because you're a king. That's what I would say.
You're a king, and you got to really know that. And that's the thing, because they don't have brothers like you telling them they're a king. They don't have communities telling them, because everybody is really survival of the fittest, and everybody's trying to get before they get got, and some people aren't going to a Bible study like you're doing, or a men's group, or they don't even see anybody doing amazing things like you're doing, or seeing a family man. Let's talk about your family, because I know that's very important, and I definitely want them to see this. Because you're a young guy, you're a handsome guy, you're a fit guy, you're an intelligent guy. You're welcome, and you love your wife and you love your children. Because sometimes when a guy is a young man, or he looks a certain way or perceived a certain way, they think that he can't be faithful, or he's not a family man, or he's this. So let's talk about how important it is for you to be a family man, a husband and a dad.
It's very important because I'm breaking generational curses myself. Or well, keeping generational curses away from my family. So my mom and dad were together. My great grandfather, my grandmother, they split up.
Okay.
But my
your
dad,
great, you said your
my grandfather, and my grandma split up. But my mom and dad stayed together. Me and my wife are staying together. So that's breaking that generational curse that could have happened.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's very important because I'm not looking. You can take me. You can take me out. But I'm looking at my babies, and I want to have them. I want them to live the best life that they possibly can.
Yeah.
And I feel like the way to do that is for me to be in their lives.
Yeah.
I should be the one who shows them what's right and wrong.
Yeah.
I should be that model, not someone else.
Yeah.
Because a boy, the first, and a female, the first thing they see, or the first thing they like, if I'm not there, they're gonna go with it.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah. Whatever grabs them.
Whatever it is.
If you're not there
driving,
too.
if it's a man that speaks really well but he ain't about nothing.
Yeah.
That's why I needed to be me. I'm the model. And if I do that, then hopefully my sons will be that model for their sons.
And even how you love your wife.
Yes.
You know, for your children to see that, I think it's very important. Kids learn love by seeing love. And they learn how to be. More is caught than taught. Yes. So you can teach your children anything, but if you're not being that example and that role model, then it really is going to go in one ear and out the other. Yes. So how did you and your wife meet?
Wow, so we met through a friend. A friend, one of my close friends, kept telling me about her. But if, this was back when we didn't have cell phones yet.
Yeah, because you've been together how long?
We've been together since 1997.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But typical black guy stuff. I don't know why I did this, but our anniversary is this year, October 4th, 10 years. I should have married her back in 1997. I really should have, but guys are dumb.
Your trajectory might have been different in that.
Our cerebral cortex isn't developed. Like we have all these different things that's wrong with us. But but I met her through a friend, and when she walked down the steps, I said, "Oh yeah, this is a good one." I don't know. I didn't say she was the one, but I was like, "Oh yeah, this is a real good one right here." And through the ups and downs, she's always been there. Like always been there. Always had my back. Yeah. Everything.
So when you lost your job, and we're talking about unemployment and just really being the head of the household and, losing that income, that substantial income.
Yes.
What was the first thing she said to you when you said, "You know what, baby, I lost my job, they let me go"? So
she said, she wasn't shocked. She wasn't shocked with it. She said she had, of course she had my back. We actually, when I first lost my job, I started to go back to school. I wanted to learn some trades, and she was right there with me in the interviews. Every interview I had, as far as like making some type of career change, she was right there to put her 2 cents in. Like, I don't know about this one, I don't know about that one. There's so many different jobs I was going to do. I was going to be a truck driver, I was going to be a mechanic, I was going to be a manager. I was going to do it was 100 different things I wanted to do.
But see, but that's the thing, and that's what people have to realize. Sometimes when not sometimes, all the time when you're unemployment, you're just trying to make a way. Yeah. So nothing is too good, nothing is too low for you. When you have a family, you're just trying to provide. You're trying to, to be that provider that everyone thinks you should be, and that you feel that you should be yourself. Was your wife working at the time?
She was. Now see, my wife, she kept getting like increases.
Wow.
My wife was a police officer, so she kept getting increases. And I'm like, well, where's my increase? But I didn't let it, let it affect the household. Yeah. So I had to find different ways to look at it. So I'm like, okay, I'm here for a reason. I'm supposed to be unemployed right now. What can I do for her? So we have gotten closer emotionally. Like when she come home and she vents, I have to listen.
And you'd be like, "Well, what happened?
Right,
what
right.
she said?" Because men got to do that. Right. You can't just listen. You got to be invested.
Right. I got to be invested. Because I had to figure
like,
that out.
What did Nene do? What she did? Right. What?
I had to really care about everything.
Yeah, you have to.
I had to really care about everything.
Because if you just listen, it's like, "Hello, do you hear?"
Yeah, do you hear?
Right. You got to really engage.
Yeah.
Men, You got to really engage because a lot of times men don't because they think, well, I'm listening. No, you got to be invested in the story. And then what's happening.
You got to be able to tell her you got to be able to tell her what she said. You know,
like repeat it.
Yeah, you got to repeat
because
it.
That's how you prove that you're listening.
Yeah, that's how you prove that you're listening. So that's what I was doing, and I learned a whole lot of different things, man. Just keeping the house clean. And folding clothes. Like I really learned a lot. You know, a lot of things that I love my mom, but I never had to wash clothes and fold them.
She washed your clothes and folded them.
My mom used to wash.
So you were spoiled.
I was.
Yeah. Then you really saw, you know, some of the things that your wife was doing. Yes. So that's another form of appreciation.
Yeah, it was amazing how she can wash clothes and cook and go to work and look at homework. And I'm like, wow, wait a minute, like she's really a good, like, you know, I just had to learn how to do it myself.
Yeah. And that's amazing actually, because in that situation, it really could have pulled you apart. It really could have pulled you apart.
Yes.
You know, it really could have made her look at you differently. It could have made you look at yourself differently. It could have made you jealous of her because she's getting increases and she's working, and that's something that you want to do because the male ego is fragile. You know, especially when you have this, and I think sometimes men, it's unfair for men. Like you can't feel, you can't grieve, you can't cry, you know, typically. So I'm glad that she gave you a soft place to land. At any time was she like, okay, well, time to get your job. You know, because she is a human being. She's not, I mean, she might be saintly, but, you know.
She was saying, go anywhere to get a job, and that's what I was doing. You know, I was filling out probably 8 to 10 applications every, you know, at least one every week. So, you know, so it got to the point where she's like, well, where's the job? You know, like, go to Walmart, do anything. And I'm like, they not hiring me either. Like, really, no one will hire me. And
because God had something already ready for you.
Absolutely.
And you had to walk it out. You had to, you know, you had to stay.
He had me on this track, this trajectory, and he wouldn't let me get off of it, no matter what. Like, I tried to go back to, I came from manufacturing. I tried to go back. A guy looked at my resume and said, well, we hiring you to, you know, we hiring you. We going to call you back. Never called you back. Never called back.
So now, you're doing something that you're not even really trained to do?
I'm doing so I went back to school for information technology.
Okay.
So I'm doing that. So that's what I'm doing right now.
So you went back to school during this time?
Yes.
So look at that though. You went and got a trade. You went and bettered yourself.
I did.
And I tell people that all the time, just even as a life coach and a human being, you got to invest in yourself. Like you really have to be able to I don't want to say increase your stock, but in a sense you really have to continue to learn and continue to grow and continue to elevate and really just better yourself.
Especially if you were cut the way I was cut. So when I was cut like that, I felt like I was nothing. So I say, you know what, this is never going to happen again. Like I'm going to make myself more vast. Like I'm going to have more. I'm going to be thicker. Like if you cut me, you're going to feel it next time.
And I think it's important to do that. And sometimes, I mean, that could be the purpose. You know, we never know God's real purpose, but we can only see what looks purposeful and what it looks like. Because if you're not getting hired anywhere, and of course you can get hired anywhere, and if Walmart ain't even hiring you, you know that that's not what God had for you. Even a delivery, you couldn't even deliver.
I was doing flex, but it's not a
like contract. It's like a contract.
Yeah, it's like you use
position.
your own car and you pick up. You have a block and you pick up. But before I was like a full time, nothing.
So now 3 years, 6 months, and 9 days, you got a job.
Yeah, I work for the state of Maryland now.
Okay.
I work for the state of
Maryland.
Maryland.
Got some good benefits.
Yeah. I'm a finance. I'm a oh my goodness, functional analyst. For parole and probation. Okay, so what's that mean? So anyone who has like any of the officers who have a tablet or a laptop or and they're having issues with it, I fix it.
Okay.
So you know I can that's a pretty good job.
That is good. So they're calling you and saying, hey, you know, your IT, you support. Hey, you know, this iPad's not working. This, you know, what do I do? So the first thing y'all always say though, I'm sorry, I gotta say this.
Power them.
Power it down. It's like that's common sense but I guess you got to start from square one.
Yeah, you got to start from
Turn off your device.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, have you tried that? Yeah, did that. But
you just got to make sure, because a lot of times things update and then next thing you know it's just fine.
Yeah, it is.
Instead of me coming all the way to wherever, like, because sometimes you have to go out to see these people, and dependent, like the state of Maryland.
If something's wrong with someone's device, you'll go to wherever they are in Maryland to fix it. You got a company car and all that stuff?
Yeah, well, not a company car, but I can use a state vehicle.
Okay.
If we, if it's something like if you want to do all the paperwork and stuff. If it's close, I won't do it. But say if I gotta go to Eastern Shore, I'm gonna.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I'm gonna drive your.
Because that's over an hour away.
Yeah.
So how, you liking it so far?
It's pretty cool.
So how do you feel that now you are part of the,
I know
the working force?
It's really funny. Like, so I had my, so I personal train also.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to find
Will Fit boot camps.
Right, boot camps. Mm-hmm. So it's like trying to find the just scheduling.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I don't want to be, because I love my babies.
Yeah.
I don't want to be away from them.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, but I still got to do this, and then I have this. I feel like my fitness is a ministry. I feel like Wilfred is a ministry. So I'm not going to stop doing that. So just trying to schedule things. That's the most difficult thing.
Because it's interesting that you're saying this, because you had a lot of time, but you had a lot of time to grow. Mm-hmm. You had a lot of time to learn, to heal, to become closer to your children, closer to your wife, and really dependent on your nuclear family. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people don't do that. They go outward and tell everybody their issue or their problem or the concern, and they want everybody on the outside to try to fix the problem. When the problem starts from the inside, meaning, praying, having those conversations with your family and your wife and your spouse. But did your children know that you were, so what did they think?
They just thought Dad was home all the time.
It's one time I got laid off, and my kids were like, we don't want you to go back to work. Of course, they didn't know I was laid off, but they said they had gourmet meals every day. Yeah. I was just cooking up a storm. You couldn't tell me nothing, everything. And I kind of enjoyed that, because I knew God had me and had a purpose. And this was when they were young. And it's so funny. They didn't know. They just knew I was there. And they just remembered I was there. And that's what your kids...
Yeah, they wouldn't have it any other way either.
Yeah.
Like, my kids don't want me to go. They didn't want me to
go.
So
now what are they going to do?
So school starting back up, so for that 7.5 hours, they'll be fine. And by the time I get off, like, I'll be picking them up, or I'll be coming in right behind them.
So let me change it. What are you gonna do?
I know that is just it's funny. Like, I have no idea. Like,
because you're gonna miss them.
I am. I'm going to miss them, because I take them to school, I pick them up. I do all that homework. Well, that won't change. Like, I still do the homework, because in my IT position, it's really flexible. Like, I have like a 2-hour, like, I could come in at 7 or 9. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that flex schedule.
Yeah, it's really flexible.
Yeah, so you can take your children still to school. Yeah. You can still have that morning time with them. Yeah.
When God sent me this job, it was a perfect job.
Perfect.
I asked him. I said, I don't want. If you send me a job, Lord, when you send it to me, I don't want it to interfere with my church life at all. So I still get to go to church on Sundays. I still get to do my Monday class with the fellas.
The brothers.
Yeah, and then I'm in discipleship also. So that's Tuesday. So I'm not gonna have any issue as far as like getting to those things.
Did the brothers throw you apart? Did you tell them you got a job?
I told them.
I know they were happy.
They were just happy, because they were with me every step of the way.
Yeah. So you did share that. You didn't share it with your family because you didn't want them to worry and concern, but you knew you can tell your brothers, because you did need that help. Yes. And that's the thing. In the quote from Les Brown, I say it all the time. You ask for help not because you're weak, but because you want to remain strong. And we're not superhumans. No. We are human beings. We feel, we hurt, we go through a lot. So to have somebody to talk to, another man who can understand what it is to be a man and what it is not to be able to provide for your family, I think that's amazing. That type of support, that can't be purchased.
It's a beautiful thing. And the thing about it, every single last one of those guys, at one point in time, they tried to help me get a job. All of them. And they didn't know what they were doing. They were really refueling me, because I was coming to a point where I'm like, I can't do it. And these guys were calling me out of nowhere. hey, Will, send me your resume. Even my bishop, like Bishop Walter Scott Thompson, Bishop of, he said, send me your resume.
Wow.
You
so
know?
so he's in there also.
He's not even in there. It's word of mouth. I guess one of the brothers shared it.
Oh, wow.
So I had at least 20 guys say, you know, send me your resume.
And still no go, because that wasn't what God wanted for you.
But it was just a refuel.
And also refuel, and to see that's because sometimes all you want to see is that somebody cares. You know. So okay, so in our closing, I want you to talk to somebody right now who's unemployed. They don't know what they're going to do. Give them a word.
I would say stand still. Believe that God has your back on everything, regardless of how it looks. You will be just fine. If it was time for you, if it was time for you to go, if you didn't have a purpose in this life, God would have been took you out a long time ago. And that's what I would say. So
hold on. That's basically what he's saying. Hold on. God has a purpose over your life, but you really have to stay full and stay full and faithful. How about that? Stay full is a new word. I think I just made that up. But to stay full, I said it again, but faithful, really, and to know that God really has you. I thank you so much for being a guest and sharing your truth, because sometimes men don't share and they're not vulnerable. So I appreciate you doing this for a higher purpose, and I'm sure you're going to inspire somebody.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Will. Thank you. Kendell Lenice, and welcome to the Coach's Corner. I am a transformational life coach, and this is the part of the show where I coach you on today's topic and subject. All right, we're talking about unemployment today. So if you've come to me and you're saying, hey, I feel worthless, I feel like I'm not an asset to my family because I'm facing unemployment, and I'm having difficulties just dealing with life because I'm not bringing anything to the table, I'm not taking care of my family. That is a real thing, people. And when people come to see me as a life coach, that's just one of many things that people talk about. So my advice to you and my coaching to you is to first not take it personally. It could be a blessing in disguise, and you have to use your lessons as blessings. It's very important to do that and look at the bigger picture. And sometimes God moves us out of the way to prepare another place for us. It's up to us to be patient, and it's up to us to be faithful. So don't look at unemployment as if you're a quote unquote loser or you're not an asset to society or to your family. Look at it as a blessing in disguise. And God will take care of you, and He will carry you through, even if you don't know how, and even if you don't know for how long. Just trust that it will be taken care of. And I know that that doesn't take away the hurt and the pain and the money insufficient funds, if you will, the insufficient funds of your bank account and your bills piling up on the table. I know that doesn't mean, okay, just have faith, stay strong, your bills will be paid. But sometimes that's what happens. You'll have an unexpected opportunity, unexpected check in the mailbox, and you'll have angels around that will help you get through. And if you're married, you have hopefully that significant other and your friends and family and even co-workers sometimes. Everyone has to help everyone, because you never know when you'll be in that situation where you'll need help. So I would suggest not to look at yourself as a failure, but look at yourself as being pushed into the next level of your life. Thank you so much for listening to my coached talk on Coach's Corner. All right, it's time for this week's grab bag. What is a grab bag, you may ask? Those are your questions, the viewer questions. And the question that came in today was, how do I stop procrastinating? First and foremost, I want to thank you for your honesty, and thank you for being self-aware to know you are a procrastinator. Trust me, you are not alone. As a life coach, I see clients all the time, and that's one of their main issues. So first and foremost, you want to make a choice and have a choice to decide if you want to stop procrastinating. So I believe you do, so I'm going to help you. First, you want to write down the things that you have to do for the day, for the week, for the month, for the year. And then you want to tackle them in order of importance. You have to stick to a schedule. You have to look at things as a bite-sized entity opposed to everything that you have to do, because that might be overwhelming to you when you look at the bigger picture. So start looking at the smaller picture the smaller pieces, in that picture and say, okay, Monday I'm going to do this. I'm going to set aside X amount of time to do this. Then I'm going to check that off my list. Then I'm going to go down to the next thing and say, okay, this is what I have to do. Okay, that's going to take about 15 to 30 minutes. Let me make sure I focus and do that and check that off your list. But you're going to have to be steadfast. I want you to look at the goal that you need to achieve way over there and figure out how you're going to get there step by step. But if you look at it as a huge entity, it's going to take you forever to tackle, because it's going to be intimidating when you look at everything that you have to do. So my suggestion to you and my coaching to you is to take your time, write it out, spell it out, and motivate yourself to get it done. Give yourself a reward at the end and say, okay, if I do this, I'm going to go to a smoothie shop and I'm going to get a smoothie. Whatever will motivate you to finish it. But don't procrastinate too long, because you might miss out on your blessings and the opportunities that await you. Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you for tuning in to The Safety Net. See you next week. God bless.
You're the reason I go on. You're the one who keeps me strong. You hold my hand when I am scared. It's you.